Well, Joe, it's a great night here on July 6, 2013. Already having a problem starting off this night.
Well, that's pretty typical. Anyways, yes, what an incredible night, man. We had a big crowd here. They were totally excited. All the matches were just energetic. Man, I tell you, we had an incredible night tonight.
I'll tell you, it's one of the biggest crowds that we've seen here in the O Show. And the first match right off the bat was a game changer. Cody McCauley with Matt Devlin and Mystic Storm versus Brozilla. What a great match that was. We had two guys that have finally made their debut here in the OSWA with Matt Devlin and Mystic Storm.
Absolutely, PK. And with that came just more and more heat in the feud of Cody McCauley and Brozilla. Man, that has been just building up over the last couple of months, and these matches their matches are just getting more and more intense every time.
I'll tell you something, when they fought their way out of the ring, they fought their way into the locker room, and then, you know, Matt Devlin, trained by his father, CC Devlin, obviously, he goes up to Mystic Storm, rolls him up for the pin, 1, 2, 3. Both men had a debut match, but Matt Devlin came on top, and what a great way to start his career here in the OSWA.
Absolutely. Like you said, he is CC Devlin's son. He shows that he has wrestling in his blood. He's young, he's up and coming, and I'm excited to see what's going to go with him in the future.
Yeah, but then after that, you know, we had one of these matches that we were building up for, which was Will Caution versus Jamar Anderson.
Absolutely, PK. It's about time we saw those guys really clash, because I was excited to see Will come out on top and show that Jamar was just, you know, just the joke that he was.
Okay, first of all, Joe, obviously you're watching a different match than the rest of us here at the O. But the thing is, though, he hits it with, you know, Will hits Jamar with a kick to the face, gets him down. That's supposed to be his finishing maneuver, right?
Absolutely.
He gets him down for a 2 count. 1, 2. Jamar kicks out. Will starts arguing with the ref. Jamar hits him with a zigzag from behind. Then he pins Will with the 1, 2, 3 count.
Yeah, but look what happened after that.
One of the most disgraceful things I've seen here in the O.
Disgraceful? What are you talking about? Will took matters into his own hands.
Yeah, after losing the match, he takes matters into his own hands and then winds up taking a chair and beating Jamar Anderson. I mean, Joe, what honor is there in that?
The honor is that he's taken his career to a higher level. He's putting his career in his own hands. That's how he gets success in this industry. This is a tough industry to be in, and he's finally taken it into his own hands, and he's taken it to a higher level.
Joe, you and I have been watching and been involved in wrestling for a long time, and I'll tell you something. There's still something that you got to have in this industry, which is principles and integrity. And with stuff like that, he shows that he has none. But let's move on. Then we had, you know, Zach Daniels versus CC Devlin. CC once again making an appearance here in the O against Zach Daniels, a former champion in his own right.
Well, I'll tell you something, PK. You know, Zach Daniels, he was ready for action tonight. He purposely perched himself in the crowd, and he wanted to come out here and prove that he was the best of the best.
And he does it in true Zach Daniels styles by interrupting Clint Eller, our commissioner, who then decides to go ahead and put him in a match, and if he wins, he gets to have a contract. But guess what? He went up against CC Devlin, and we know how that ends. You know, he hit Zach with a stunner, pins him 1, 2, 3. Clint gets off easy without having to issue a contract to Zach Daniels. And Zach Daniels, I want to know that I wish you the best.
And Zach Daniels, I want to let you know that that is the greatest tragedy in the history of this great company, losing such a great, seasoned athlete like you. You know, OSWA, we need to be ashamed of ourselves for letting you go like that. This is a true black eye in the history of the OSWA.
And Zach, if you ever come back, I promise you, Joe will be wearing his cheerleading outfit and pom-poms as you come out to the ring. Then we had the next match.
It's just unbelievable how you treat me like that.
Oh, Joe, it's okay.
Disrespectful and rude.
Hey, man, a single tear rolls down the side of my cheek as we discuss it. Anyways, Zach, then we had, you know, Jake and Chris Damian, and that was supposed to be against the White Knight and Z, and I was looking forward to that. Man, for the last 2 weeks, I've been like, man, it's a great match, great match. And all of a sudden, who comes out? The White Knight's first assistant, you know, with his mask on and his hood on. He goes, oh yes, before you can have that match, we must have a tune-up match, which I can barely hear that guy. And I was thinking, he said tuna match. No, it was tune-up match. I'm like, oh, okay, great. So they go to this tune-up match. He goes, oh yes, we're going to call some friends from the back. And who comes out? Once again, second time in the O, Ink.
Goth and Psycho. You know, I'll tell you something, the White Knight was so smart with that. He knows that Jake and Damian are good wrestlers, but he brought out 2 wrecking machines.
Well, Joe, I think what it is, I think it was the White Knight's display of his fear and cowardice of losing the Jake Hughes contract.
Are you sure about that?
Positive.
No, I think the White Knight is trying to prove that Jake is worthy to be under his tutelage. But I'll tell you something, those 2, Psycho and Goth, 2 just semi-diesels, How do you face such fierce competitors like that?
Well, Jake Hughes winds up getting the win. You know, Jake Hughes and Chris Damian wind up getting the win by disqualification.
That was the only way they were going to get that.
No, I think if it would have continued, we would have seen definitely who would have dominated, and I think they still would have won.
He King dominated that whole match. I don't know what match you were watching, as you always ask me. You know, the only way that King could have lost, could have gotten a loss is by basically taking themselves out.
Well, that's what happened. There was a disqualification. You know, Psycho winds up pushing the ref, and then he wraps that dog chain around his hand, goes to hit Chris Damian, and Chris Damian's girlfriend Jackie comes from behind and hits him with a chair.
And what was her business in there? That just shows how stupid a woman can be, going and helping her man.
Wow.
Look at what, would you go as a woman in after some guy like that?
First of all, Joe, I'm not a woman, and if I wanted that perspective, I would definitely ask you. But the thing is, though, is that I think she showed a lot of bravery. And then when she turns around and sees Goth, he hits her with a pile driver. And then all of a sudden, it's on, right? But guess what? Guess who comes in? Making their second debut here in the O, God's gift to wrestling.
And that's what makes me wonder, what was their business being in that match?
Well, Joe, let's find out. We've got Shane Adams and the Morning Star, William Huckabee, here. We'll find out why they decided to get involved.
Well, I'm glad to have these two great athletes here. We have the Morning Star right here, a great champion, and then we got Sean Adams. I'm a great fan of yours.
Don't touch me.
Oh, I am so, yeah, I didn't mean to touch you,
First off, what business is it of ours?
Absolutely.
Wrestling is our business.
And the business is very, very well.
You see, God's gift of wrestling, the reason we haven't been at the O for the past 3 or 4 months is the fact that we've been traveling all over this country. Now, we were sitting in the back,
Talking to some friends.
talking to a bunch of friends of ours.
And we just happened to hear somebody say this is their yard. That they're the big dogs around here. That they run the O show. And I don't know about Sean, but I figured that's why we were here.
That's a good point.
No one told you to talk yet.
Yeah, I like him way, way better than you.
You see, boys,
But not that much.
you call yourself the measuring stick. Well, just know this. Both of us have traveled all over this country. Both teams have beaten the best, been in the ring with the best, but we have never crossed paths. August 3rd, 2013. Mark it on your calendars. Our paths will cross. And I guarantee you that God's gift to wrestling will be proven once again why we are the greatest gift ever given.
From God.
Absolutely.
Any other questions?
So this match is going to be August 3rd right here at the OSWA?
That's
Hold
what
on.
he said.
You got any wax in your ears? You got a Q-tip or something? Clean it out.
Oh, no,
Can't
Mom's
you
trying to teach him
understand the
hygiene to
words
work out.
that are coming out of my mouth?
well, of course.
You know what? Go choke a Smurf. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Well, I'm just trying
We'll
to-
call you when we're done. Go.
I'm just trying to
Go. Get your butt out of here.
Come on, let's talk to you. We like you better.
Well, gentlemen, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on August 3rd. I'll tell you something. I was very impressed with the very physical match you guys gave us 3 or 4 months ago, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys.
What
continue.
you've seen before. See, we know what kind of guys Ink is. See, the names Goth and Psycho, they're not strange to us. We hear about them everywhere we go. Now the question is, can they put up with what we have to offer, what we bring to OSWA? Turns out we'll find out in a couple of weeks, won't we?
And I'm looking forward to it as always, gentlemen. Thanks again for coming back to the O, and I look forward to seeing you guys August 3rd. Drive safe, and we'll see you the next time you're here. Hey, Joe, feel free to come back anytime.
Well,
if you wish.
absolutely. I'm an interviewer. I like to, what? It was really great seeing you. I'm a huge fan of you guys. It's fantastic. We'll take care, guys, and we look forward to
You know
seeing you
what that
August 3rd. What?
That's fear I smell. Anyways, let's get back to what we were
it's
talking about originally.
respect. I'm just trying to be respectful.
Respect?
As an interviewer, I gotta tailor my interviews around those who I interview.
I think you got tailored all right. But anyways, then we had White Trash versus the Show in a trailer park match. And where does it start off? In a trailer park. Very fitting.
Absolutely. Well, White Trash, well, they definitely started in their territory, a trailer park, where they belong. White Trash.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gee, Joe, that's pretty brutal. But the thing is, though, Security Shane, I'll tell you something, they handcuffed him at the side of the ring, hoping that that would be enough to, negate his interference in matches that he's been known for. And then all of a sudden, what happens? He winds up, I guess he probably had one secreted in his mouth or in a fat fold. I don't know. I can't figure it out. But he pulls a handcuff key out, and he's able to handcuff Cody Fairview to the ring. Man, Mr. Hollywood's able to hit the lights, camera, action. Bam. Puts Jimmy Lee down for the 3 count.
You know, it's like I tell you, PK, they are the stable of champions. They have more gold than any other stable in this whole promotion.
You know what I smell now? That's your pheromones for the Hollywood and his show. Anyways.
First of all, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how you're smelling fear. Those guys that we just interviewed, they're lucky I don't go take care of them right now.
Okay, listen here, Mr. Encyclopedia. You know the difference between fear and pheromones if you read a book. But anyways, we'll continue. I know you get all your big words from Words with Friends. Then we had, of course, Z. It was an open challenge match, right? And then all of a sudden, the first assistant comes back out. Oh, yes.
Well, you show him some respect, PK.
Hey, Joe, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, and I like imitating the guy.
Yeah, well, that's
so anyways,
not
but Joe, who accepts the call?
Our corporate champion, Wasabi. We had a champion on champion.
And he comes out with Sushi Roll, who, by the way, had a couple of fans in the ring tonight with a sign and everything.
Oh, I know. I can't believe that people actually fall for that little Red Riding brat.
Oh, wow. But I'll tell you something, Joe. It was a great match. It was a very physical match. Unfortunately, I think Wasabi was just over-muscled by our champion, Z.
Absolutely.
He tried to do a couple times where it was strength on strength, and Z was able to get the challenge, but he did go for a high-risk, high-reward maneuver, but unfortunately, it was high risk, but no reward, because as he came down from the top rope to nail Z, he winds up, Z counteracts with an atomic drop, and that was the end of that match, 1, 2, 3. Z successfully defends his title, but I'll tell you this, Wasabi's also a fighting champion because he didn't have to come out, but he went ahead and came out.
He did come out and he took on Z. You see, you got to understand, Wasabi is the corporate champion, whereas Zack is the ultimate champion.
You mean Z?
Z, I know what I'm talking about.
Apparently you don't, but hey, A for effort. It's okay. We're going to work on it.
Well, I was just looking forward to talking about the next match.
Which was, you go ahead and announce it, Joe. What was the next match?
The next match was Zack Blaine versus Chad Silva. They finally find out who the bum was in that whole mess of a tag team.
And you know what? I was really glad, because I'll tell you something. Zack Blaine came really prepared. He was nice and stretched out, because as soon as Chad Silva came in that ring and he ran out real quick.
I don't know what you're talking about, him being a track star and all that.
He's great at it. I think we got to applaud his strengths. And his strengths is being a track star.
Well, I'll tell you something. When Zack Blaine is running from Chad Silva, it's for 2 reasons and 2 reasons only. Either one, he's just trying to get some space so he can plan his attack like a good soldier would, or B, he's running from that fight to go fight another fight because he's that bad.
Well, I think the first one was probably more accurate than the second one, but I'll let you keep those 2 theories. But anyway, but another thing you still got to remember was the 24/7 championship was on the line. 10-minute time limit. We're coming down to the final seconds. Chad Silva has Zack Blaine in an elbow lock, putting all that pressure, and Zack Blaine starts tapping out at the 0.
But too late. Too late because Zack was just a little too tough for Chad Silva.
But Joe, there is always a little bit of silver lining here in the loss.
That's right, because Zack is the champion.
No, he is not.
He's the best of the best.
No, he is not. Because guess what? Because he did tap, and there was an OSWA official right there. Guess who now is the new 24/7 champion? Yours truly, my friend, Chad Silva.
No way. He doesn't deserve that.
Yes.
How did he get that? Their bell was wrong.
But he tapped, and the 24/7 championship must be defended at all times, any place, any time. Doesn't matter that the time ran out. When he tapped, Chad Silva once again, gold around the waist. And I'll tell you something, it was a sweet victory for him.
Yeah, sweet victory for him, and a cheap victory at that.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you something. The good thing is we got a show coming up in 2 weeks on July 20th. We got a rematch between the show and White Trash. This time a standard match. I'm looking forward to seeing their wrestling on display.
Absolutely, BK. And once again, we're going to be seeing how much I am right and how much you're wrong.
Man, those pheromones are really coming off you, bro, for the show.
Well, you should talk about those pheromones.
Okay.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, then there was Brozilla. Then we got Brozilla versus Cody McCulley. Finally, as you say, the upper echelon, or what I like to call the OSWA management team, has decided it's time for this feud to end.
That's
stipulation
right.
To be named later on.
Well, as you know, I'm one of the brass here that actually runs this show.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow, that's
and
a first.
I'm getting sick of that little feud too. And it's about time that we see that come to an end. And we're going to see it come to an end once and for all next show.
Then we got Jake Hughes versus the White Knight, a 2 out of 3 falls. I would like to see a 1-for-1 fall because, it'd be easier for Jake Hughes, I think, to finally come out on top. But this is for Jake Hughes' contract.
Well, I don't know why Jake Hughes wants to leave from being under the leadership of the White Knight. He's going to destroy his career.
Okay, but Joe, the White Knight has done nothing but destroy the career of Jake Hughes. And I'll tell you something, Joe, that's something for us to discuss later. Then we got Chris Damian versus Z for the Ultimate title. I'll tell you something, I think this is going to be one of Z's biggest challenges.
Well, of course it's going to be. Chris Damian, look at him.
Former Marine.
A war veteran?
Foreign war at that, even.
So, yeah, it's going to be one heck of a match. I would pay hundreds of dollars to see that because it's going to be a fight.
I'll tell
It's
you.
going to be more than just a wrestling match, PK. It's going to be a fight.
I'll tell you something, Joe. You can't take anything away, though, from our champion Z. He came into the OSWA, and within a few months, it's amazing to see the transformation under the tutelage of the White Knight.
Absolutely. It's about time you use some sort of 3-syllable word that requires a little bit of education.
Okay, well, Joe, not all of us can be monosyllabic knuckle draggers like yourself, but we'll get around that. Then, of course, we've got the main event, right? The corporate ladder match.
Yes, absolutely, the ladder match.
Okay, Wasabi's going to have to defend himself. It is a ladder match, by the way. It's going to be Wasabi, Taco, Chad Silva, and Zach Blaine. I can look forward to seeing the focus in this match.
Absolutely.
Will Caution gets a shot, believe it or not. Now that we've got one more person, and the fans get to decide that online. And fans, if you want to decide who the 6th contestant is going to be, you can go to facebook.com/OSWA Entertainment. Put down your choice. You can go to oswaentertainment.com and put down your choice as well. And as well, if you want to see this recap as well as other recaps and other great matches, you can go to youtube.oswa Entertainment to watch any of our previous videos. And Joe, I'll tell you something, I'm looking forward. This is going to be a very special occasion.
It's going to be an incredible night, PK. More incredible than any other night we've had before.
So Joe, are you going to dress to impress for this great night?
I always dress to impress.
Well,
Look at this.
You and I do
my Italian-made shirts.
Okay, made in China. Anyways, but Joe, I'm looking forward to it because I'll tell you something. You and I, we get to carpool up here together, and I really hope that you get that car nice and ready. And Joe, that Pinto's got a nice chrome bumper.
What are you talking about, a Pinto? You always talk about a Pinto. You know what? I didn't come from my palatial estate in Beverly Hills in a Pinto. I came in the best of all cars.
That's right, the 1977 Pinto with the chrome bumper. Fans, we look forward to seeing you, and thanks again, and we look forward to seeing you here at the O Show.
We'll see you. Have a good night.